The prompt says, what can we do to improve society? There are many different things we can do. For instance, instead of treating people based on what color skin they have, we can be more diverse in our communities and teach why racism is bad. After the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr., a teacher named Jane Elliott did a social experiment on her third graders to help them understand prejudice. She separated her class based on eye color. Blue-eyed children were high class and got extra privileges, while brown-eyed children did not. And then vice versa. She put the brown-eyed children as high class and the blue-eyed children as low class. This is what she said. The blue-eyed children sat in the front while the brown-eyed children were sent to the back, end quote. This is very similar to when black people had to sit in the back of the bus. In conclusion, Elliott wanted the kids to learn what African American people felt during the civil rights movement and that discrimination is wrong. Another thing we can do to improve society is to remove sexism from the world. Emma Watson is a British actress, model, and activist. In 2014, she became a UN Women Goodwill Ambassador and helped launch the campaign He for She. By sharing her own experiences with the world, Emma Watson made it clear that women's equality is in fact a right rather than a privilege, a right to be heard. Women and men may be physically different, but in many ways are similar. In her speech, she said, I want men to take up this mantle so their daughters, sisters, and mothers can be free from prejudice, but also so that their sons have permission to be vulnerable and human too, reclaim those parts of themselves they abandoned, and in doing so, be a more true and complete version of themselves. End quote. Given that Emma Watson was portrayed in a movie with 2 male lead roles, and the fact that she acknowledges that men deserve equality too, more people may listen and give He for She a chance. When comparing ways to improve society, there are many ways to do so. A poem by Charlotte Perkins Gilman, named The Obstacle, talks about how she was blocked by prejudice and couldn't get it to move. The poem states, begin quote, I was climbing up a mountain path. I carried quite a load, and there that hulking prejudice sat all across the road. I spoke to him politely and begged that he would move. Then I reasoned quietly. I argued like Solemn. I danced and howled and sweared. And when a sudden inspiration came, I walked directly through him as if he wasn't there. In this case, ignoring prejudice allowed her to continue on her journey. In the blue-eyed, brown-eyed experiment, as I had said earlier, Elliott reenacted prejudice with her students. When you compare the two ways given to stop prejudice, it is important to know your personal limitations and whether or not to attack it head-on, as in the poem The Obstacle, or to teach it as Elliott did with her students in the blue-eyed, brown-eyed experiment. Thank you very much for listening.